time for the lightning round. Our first topic, Princess Kate's phone was hacked. But this latest disclosure is certain to be seen as a bombshell as prosecutors press charges against two former top Murdoch executives. So let's talk about this. We're talking about people getting their phones hacked, computer schemes, all these different things, and now it's happened to the princess, and just kind of unbelievable. But it's going to be also Rupert Murdoch is in the hot seat now.
You know, this is a really interesting one for me because I always operate under the grounds that I am being taped, almost always. I mean, if we're going out for a drink, I won't think that. But if I'm on the phone, or if I'm somewhere where I think that somebody might have a tape recorder or it might be something going on, I operate that way for reasons because I know that has happened in the past. And being in the political
circles, you're scaring me on this one.
Yeah. I've been in political circles where they kind of try to tape people, you know. And I learned a while ago that I have to have a certain operational approach. And that is that
Paranoia?
I may be taped. And I think that's unfortunate, but I think we're getting there pretty soon.
I tend to agree with you. Jackie, what do you think?
Well, I just saw this morning that there were 100 world leaders who know that they are being hacked. And when they asked Ehud Barak in Israel, he said, well, I just suspected that they would anyway. So,
well, I think it's probably best be a little careful what you're going to say anyway, you know. But this has happened to the royal family before, so it shouldn't necessarily come as a shock, but was certainly making headlines across the pond, if you will. We're also talking about ahead of the Winter Olympic Games in Russia, President Vladimir Putin is playing a game of his own. He's trying to make his country more pleasing to world leaders who are not planning to show up. Everything from his stance on American adoptions to his stance on gay couples. So let's talk about this right now. And what do you think about this little snub from the world leaders, Dee Dee?
Look, not surprised. I mean, because these are archaic ways of thinking, and they really push it. And they're hosting the Olympics. I was happy that President Obama said yesterday in his press conference that he's not going to go to the Olympics. I thought, good for him.
Well, you know what else he did? He also named two of his delegates to be on the Olympic committee that are very openly gay.
Right.
Billie Jean King is one of them, which was a bit of a snub. A second
Brian
snub.
Boitano, wasn't he the other one?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you know, you learn how to play politics, and that's a good play.
Yeah, so we got him back.
I think that's a good play, and I agree with Dee Dee. I mean, these archaic ways of thinking just have to change. We're not there yet, but hopefully some of these countries and some of the leaders will change their tune eventually.
And I think that, well, Obama is showing the kind of leadership now with this that he hasn't shown before, and he needs to do more of this.
Well, it's not just Obama. You've got the French president. Germany,
yeah,
there's quite a few countries that are lining up and not, you know, saying they're not going to go. I don't remember ever that happening in recent years where so many world leaders say we're not going to go support even our teams.
I mean,
so,
in a way, when you think about it, it's too bad that the Olympics have to be made into some sort of political statement. But I mean, they really are pretty terrible about a lot of things. So. Yeah, you know, you have to understand why. So it's unfortunate.
But you're right. It is political, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's always been
Certainly.
political. I mean,
but
look
I do feel bad for the teams
For the
because
athletes.
absolutely they work so hard to be cheered on by their world leaders. Absolutely, to see everybody there. But it is amazing that when you do look at, because I don't think a lot of Americans may be unaware of what is happening in Russia, and that is, you know, if you are a gay couple. You cannot adopt a child. I mean, there's so many restrictions.
Yeah.
It's almost like going back 50 years in this country.
Yeah, Russia's got all kinds of problems like that. It's just not good. I mean, and they're nasty about it. I mean, the way they talk about it, the way they go about it, it's like wrong. Forget it. It's almost like Duck Dynasty.
Yeah.
Well, we are now talking about Dennis Rodman and Kim Jong-un. There are two big names that are being put out there and making headlines this week. And what can you say? He's another character, Dr. Bart.
Dennis Rodman, to me, has always been a misfit. I followed him when he was playing basketball. I thought he was a little wacky then. He's always been an oddball, a peculiar personality. So maybe two misfits should join together, and that's what we have here. I think that it's really bizarre. And to think that Rodman is going to do something good for us, I doubt that. I mean, this guy just killed his uncle.
Kim Jong-un execute his own uncle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He executes his uncle, but he brings Dennis in. That's like ridiculous. I hope Dennis, he just needs to move there. You know, sayonara. He should just be you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have nothing else in our court to deal with North Korea. If we can use Dennis Rodman, let's use him.
But he's not going to get it.
Don't say that. No, we cannot make him our ambassador.
I would
That'd be
think
awful.
we need a result when we do some kind of diplomacy.
Well,
There's no
let's see
result
it.
with him. There's not
No,
going to be a
that's
result.
not true. It's not true.
I don't see that happening.
No, I don't either.
John-
That's a
John,
bad
let's
diplomat.
talk
about motives for both of them. I mean, Dennis Rodman does
Publicity.
not need.
That's
interesting.
Dennis
Exposure.
Rodman does not need any publicity.
Well, they're both crazy. I mean, they are. They're both crazy if you think about it. Dennis Rodman is a nut. He's crazy, and I know you know this, Dr. Bart.
I think he's
and
peculiar.
obviously, you know, the guy's going to execute his uncle. I mean, we know this guy's got problems. So yeah, I mean, they're just two peas in a pod. They're both crazy.
There's never enough exposure for these kinds of individuals, and that's what they're looking for, and they're getting it.
Fine. So let's use him to work with Kim Jong-il.
He should not be United States ambassador.
I'll use
Terrible.
anything at
The
this
only thing
point.
good about that guy is he plays basketball well. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He does.
Well, like, that was a few courts ago. That was
Yeah,
a
That's
couple
true.
years ago.
You're right.
Anyway,
Leah.
it wasn't
we
a
don't
Michael.
even give him that.
It wasn't even Michael Jordan. So,
No.
But in terms of just Kim Jong Un, I mean, yes, he gets some positive, I guess, positive publicity. I just can't even imagine like what this friendship, except putting them in the headlines, does for them. I mean, it just is absolutely one of the most.
Well,
bizarre.
maybe the Korean leader thinks that this provides a little more stability because he's talking to someone who's a star from the United States.
That's how he
He's
is.
a fading star.
it doesn't
He's
though.
not a
fading
star. He's a nut.
Well,
No,
But he's a past star.
Long time ago.
But he might think that this is a positive
He's not
thing.
famous.
but-
He's infamous at this point. He really is. I mean, he's
Oh,
not too
be nice.
What, Dennis Rodman?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
and then
an
he's over
entertain-
dealing with the enemy. Ugh.
Well, I think it's interesting he keeps saying that he's going to bring a basketball team to play for Kim Jong Un's birthday celebration, and he's going to bring in all these big basketball stars.
who's gonna
from the
be on that
NBA.
team?
That's what I
Wait,
said.
that
That's
could be
what I-
very interesting.
But look, this is a connection with North Korea.
Not a good one.
No, that's not true. Look what Nelson Mandela did with a soccer team or a rugby team.
Oh,
when
man,
it
I
came
can't
to,
believe. Oh, boy.
No, look, we can use
I agree
sports
that
and arts.
athletes and sports can bring people together, but I'm not sure on this one.
What have
I mean,
we
it
got
could
to
be-
lose? What have we got to lose? Absolutely nothing. Why not let him do what he wants to do?
Well, they're going to. And that's
Well,
kind of,
I
you know,
think
it's just a spectacle.
I'm just surprised there's no restrictions on him.
Well, not if he doesn't, you know, if he likes him, he's going to let him in and do whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
This
he wants.
leader doesn't deserve any credibility.
I
He's
agree.
lost all credibility in
Dennis
the
Rodman.
world.
But
he's got
And
power.
either does Dennis Rodman. And to put them together and try to get a mix out of this that generates some publicity, it's a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It's
They're
not a
perfect
joke.
couple.
North Korea has power, and they have nuclear power. Let's use what we've got, even though it's
Jackie,
a nutty
do you really think
ex-basketball
Dennis
player.
Rodman is going to be
He's-
an ambassador to help us
That's
work
not
with
gonna-
the nuclear issue? I think not.
We have nothing
he is
else.
nuclear.
Nothing. We have nothing.
Well, that's true, but I think nothing's better than him.
Maybe,
No, we have
he has,
nothing to lose.
Maybe he has the nuclear code in his earring. I don't know.
We have nothing to lose, and I'm thinking more about our relations with a country that has no relations with us now whatsoever.
Well, maybe that's better than relations with Dennis Rodman.
Well, it certainly does give us something to talk about, and you know how I love the characters, Dr.
You
Bart.
do. You're good at
he is
that.
one, for sure. They both are.
Well, two people are big winners this week after the Megamillions jackpot was announced. A woman from Georgia has claimed the top prize, but the other person remains a mystery. Now, the jackpot comes to a total of $324 million per winner. If the person takes a lump sum, it's about $120 million in taxes. I'll take it, you know, whatever. So, you know, because it's the season to believe, like Santa Claus and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so put on your, what would you do? The question that we always do as reporters, what would you do if you got the $120 million jackpot?
I would spread it around and everyone would have enough food to eat and clothes to wear and somewhere good to live. There would be no more poverty and we'd live in peace.
And world peace. And a doggy hospital. That's what you would do. You have an
what I
animal
need.
hospital. Jackie's Animal
Yes.
Hospital.
Yes.
But here's the other question, too. Would you take the one lump sum or would you get the payments?
Well, I was going to ask that one next.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Sorry.
So we just got to put on our
We've got the mind meld going.
our dream hats on right now, Dr. Bart.
I would take the money and try to help people with addiction problems. I think that you could have a serious impact with folks who are seriously addicted to prescription medications. And I think if the money was used properly, a lot of people could be helped.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
for
well, I'm
sharing
the
that.
selfish one. While you guys are talking about world peace and addictions, I want a car and I want a penthouse. I want to buy all my friends. I want to have a big party. I want to buy all my friends gifts.
Can I come?
Absolutely. You're all coming. We're all
Okay.
going to get new shoes. We're going to go to the spa.
Wait a minute.
We're going to go to the
More than
spa. We're going to
shoes.
get you new bags. We're going to get you a new credit card. So
Okay,
no. I'm
okay.
about the material stuff. I'm going to go buy everybody something fun.
That's good.
An
I like
apartment?
that.
An apartment.
Absolutely. Yeah, apartment.
Okay.
All right, so what are the chances? I mean, I know when you think about, sometimes I give like a little lottery card or something like that in people's birthday cards because it's just fun. But just from the psychology standpoint, is it just because you can dream a little bit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it makes you think that you can get outside of your own space. You can dream a little bit, fantasize, and you can think about all kinds of different things. Hey, we have a good one right here with Dee. So I think that's great. I think it's wonderful. You can dream, and you could be a free spirit for a little bit, and
It
that
makes you feel
yeah.
young a little
It
bit.
does.
Like, now I'm not saying go out and gamble, everybody, but I'm saying
Yeah.
it does give you that little like, oh, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
because
it
we all
will
kind of
be.
lifted up like, wow, and we could all
Yeah.
go a trip to Turkey. We could go around the world. I mean, you think about all these cool things you could do. That makes you feel good.
I once
Like
did
you
a
said.
story in New Jersey, and the entire police department won the lottery.
Oh my.
And so they were wondering because nobody was fighting crime that day or handling anything. But what was so incredible was the next year. The librarians all won in the same town.
wow.
It was
Interesting.
just such a funny, like this little tiny town where everybody became millionaires and kind of retired and then left. So, but it was just kind of a really funny story. But they didn't become millionaires, the librarians. But lump sum, how would you take it?
I would take it in the payments, actually.
You would?
Yeah, I would.
Because?
It's more money. It's a lot more money, actually.
It's a lot more
money in
money.
the end. But I mean, if you have a lump sum, you can invest it or whatever. But I'm like, you know what? If I know I'm going to get that sum and it's more money, why not? So I would do it that way. It's more conservative, maybe, and that's plenty of money. My goodness.
It's a lot of
I
money.
don't know if it's
Yeah.
more conservative or not. That's a good point. I would take the lump sum and I'd figure out how to spend it.
And you
invest
spend it all.
invest
You don't know, Dr. Bart. You could go crazy and spend it all, and then you'd be sorry.
I
you
get
didn't
that
take the
Aston
payments.
Martin that you keep talking
Right. See, now you're thinking along my lines. That's right. That's what you'd really do.
Look, I would take it all at once. It's so much money that you could make so many people, including yourself, happy and do some good. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So
Fair enough.
take it and do what
Well,
you
the
want.
$324 million, it was actually went down to 120 million. So that's like $200 million that's gone if you take it in the lump sum. Obviously, taxes and all that kind of stuff, but that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that you don't get. I mean, they give you
That is
big-
true. It seems like it's overly taxed.
It's a
What-
ton of money if
Yeah.
you take if you can wait and be patient. And it's not like it's little amounts. These are big amounts. I mean, there's a lot you could do with it. You get a ton more money that way.
Well,
if you
Dee
take
could
the
have more
payments.
parties with this on
That's right.
a continuous
And I'll be
basis.
having my parties 10 years down the road after you spend all your money.
There you go.
Well, the jackpot.